welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, ET Now's special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. On the show today, I'm in conversation with two very special people to talk to us specifically to the MSME space. I have Pradeep Nair, the Managing Director, India and SAARC for Autodesk. I also have Apurva Chandra, Principal Secretary Industries, the Government of Maharashtra. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us tonight. Let's kick this conversation off first with you and ask you to talk to us about the MOU which you have signed with the Government of Maharashtra. Just run our viewers through what the MOU is for, when you signed it, and what really the steps are going to be there.
So you might remember, right, we had the Make in India event in Maharashtra back in February, where the government rolled out a bunch of initiatives that we're doing with various entities across the world. And so, when that opportunity came up, we were in dialogue with the Government of Maharashtra for quite some time, and we felt this was a great opportunity for us to really do something for the MSMEs in Maharashtra. So, when people talk about Make in India, it's usually about getting big firms to come to India and manufacture in India, which is fantastic. I mean, there's a whole bunch of opportunity for the Gs of the world, the Lenovos of the world to do things here in Maharashtra. But the government was also keen to see what we could do at the other end of the spectrum. How do we help local entrepreneurs compete on the global stage? How do we rapidly infuse technology to make them competitive? How do we infuse local, how do you encourage local industry to come up and make in India, make in Maharashtra? So that's the opportunity that we saw. It aligned very well with what we wanted to do. And so we signed an MOU with the government at that time to bring our first of its kind global platform built on the cloud. If you're a product manufacturing company, you need to design software. You need to design things, you need to test them for tolerances, and you need to manufacture them. Usually you need different pieces of software for each of these things. We have this revolutionary new platform that enables you to do all of this in one integrated platform. And we just announced that globally, and we wanted to make that available to MSMEs in Maharashtra at a very special price point, and we did that for the next 2 years, just for rupees 1,999 rupees. Okay. For 2 years. We've covered you for a platform that gives you all of these capabilities. So that's what we announced with the Government of Maharashtra in the MOU at the Make in India week.
Okay, fair enough. So let me bring you in, Mr. Chandra, at this point. Talk to us about the kind of synergies that you've seen by bringing a company like Autodesk onto the platform.
So as was mentioned, because there are large number of MSMEs, during the Make in India event, we signed MOUs with about 2,522 MOUs with MSMEs. And as was mentioned, it is basically a question of quality, because we want to upgrade the quality of products of MSMEs to the international level. And that would be, comparatively, it would be much easy and more achievable if we are able to provide international software like Autodesk to such MSMEs. So that is a sort of a tie-up, and we were very happy to have this tie-up with Autodesk, because now the international technology, the best-in-class technology, would be available to MSMEs of Maharashtra at a very, very competitive price. And now already 330 MSMEs are already partaking of this technology, and they have really come up in their standards, and they are showing improvement in the work which they are doing. And this 2,522, they are just the MOUs which we have signed. The total number of MSMEs in the state of Maharashtra is more than 80,000. So the scope is enormous to upgrade the technology. Now, when investments are taking place in Maharashtra, during the Make in India event, we signed MOUs worth almost 4 lakh crores for investments into the state of Maharashtra, of which about 3 lakh crore were for the large and mega projects. Now, when the large and mega projects come, MSMEs form the backbone, and Maharashtra has been on the forefront of the industrial manufacturing sector in India because of the backbone of the MSMEs, and they provide the employment, and they really serve the large and mega projects through the products which they supply.
So you're talking about the MSME space. Why tie up with MSMEs? And I'll probably ask you the same question as well. In terms of the ecosystem itself that exists, you are talking about the backbone that exists for manufacturing in the state of Maharashtra because of MSMEs. But was it more difficult to work with this space, especially for the kind of products we're talking about?
This whole idea of making software that's available on the cloud. So right now, if you're an MSME, if you needed to do some of the things that an MSME needed to do, you need to invest in capital, you need to invest in trained IT staff, you need to... It was very difficult. Now, with the kind of platform that we're providing, it's possible for you to leapfrog this whole generation of evolution of technology and say, okay, I can get all of these things that larger companies are able to afford because they had ability to invest in capital. All of those things I can now get as an MSME at a very low price point. You look at how things exploded when you had shampoo sachets, right? When you made it possible for people to consume in small ticket sizes, just when they need it. Similar thing is happening with technology. You want design software, you want design capability. I want it just for this particular project, but after that I don't need it. Why should I pay and invest? So that's where we're going. So what this does is it makes it possible now for an MSME to really act like a big firm. You know, all the advantages that the big firms kind of took for granted are now available to MSMEs. And that's what technology does. How
do, in your opinion, MSMEs and entrepreneurs and SMEs go about educating themselves? Because a lot of the time we get queries on saying that, you know, while the government has possibly given this overarching mandate of, say, Make in India, the use of technology as a part of that. How do you suggest that MSMEs go about educating themselves about the latest technology and how they can incorporate it into their own businesses?
Yes, that is a very good question, because MSMEs have to come up on their own to incorporate the technologies, and they have to keep abreast. But then Government of Maharashtra is, as of now, we are thinking of setting up a MSME institute, which will take care of the needs of the MSMEs. And for that, we have already commissioned a project report, and we are thinking of likely venues of such a MSME institute. So that is one part. And that part, we already have a scheme. There is a Government of India scheme for MSME clusters. And also the state government has a scheme for MSME clusters, where we promote common facility centers for MSMEs. So such common facility centers take care of the technology needs, because the biggest problem for MSMEs is they may be aware of what is to be done, but they don't have the wherewithal or the funds, because the common facility centers are quite expensive, maybe in the range of 10 crore, 15 crore, and the government gives almost 80 to 90% of the funds for such a common facility center, which upgrades the technology available to all the MSMEs in the region, and that has shown remarkably good effects.
Okay, so I wanted to, pick up on one of the things that you said, and you made some very relevant points in terms of the funds available. MSMEs are, a lot of them at least, if I can generalize it, working with very little funds. How do you convince MSMEs through our show? How do you tell our viewers the importance of using technology and how much they can really benefit what they're doing at their businesses?
See, whenever they are using better technology than the quality, they are able to upgrade to the better quality large and mega projects, and they become suppliers to the mega projects. For example, they can become suppliers to Mercedes. All these such major companies which are already present in Maharashtra. Now Mercedes is present, Volkswagen is present, General Motors is present, Mahindra is present, Bajaj is present, Skoda is present, Fiat Chrysler is present, and all these companies are expanding. They are already present, they are producing a large number of cars, and they are investing almost 20 to 25,000 crores, which are going to be invested over the next 3 years in the state of Maharashtra. So the need from the products, because most of these companies work on just-in-time inventory, and we have now these clusters. Now Pune has specialized on the auto side, Nasik on the electrical side, Aurangabad on auto components and electrical side, Nagpur on the garments and again component side. So all these areas, they provide a big opportunity to MSMEs to upgrade their skills, and that is possible if they use, let's say, software like Autodesk and some such better quality skills. Then they're able to upgrade their products and able to sell at a better price to such vendors who demand international quality and quality.
Okay, sure. So let's take a very quick break on the show. But when we come back, I want to talk about the ease of doing business. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow and on MSME Dialogues today. I'm talking about design technology, and also the role that it has as far as MSMEs are concerned. Let me come to you and talk about something that I noticed you've said earlier. You've spoken about democratizing design, if I've got that right. If I've got the pronunciation of that right. What do you mean by that?
So democratizing design is what is at the core of what we do. I mean, there are firms that build very differentiated pieces of technology and sell it at very high cost to a limited number of people, and that's their business model. If you look at what we do very well, is we take software, we take capabilities, and we make it available at the lowest possible price to the widest possible audience, right? And that's really what. So if you look at design, we don't look at design and say this is the exclusive space of somebody like this is only what the Apples of the world should do. Sure. We believe design is something that is fundamental to how products are going to be used. The design itself is not a nice to have thing. It's going to be core to what you do as a product maker. You talked about earlier, what should MSMEs do, right? I mean, if you're an MSME in Maharashtra, if you're an MSME in India, you've probably been used to competing on price. That race to the bottom is not something that is sustainable. There'll always be somebody who would be cheaper. I refer to what the secretary said earlier. We have to compete on things beyond price. And where is the IP? Where is the quality? I mean, where is the differentiation in what we make? And if you do that, that's a much more longer-term sustainable advantage to the country. So if we've built as India, we've built this positioning in the world market as the back office of the world. We believe that it's possible for us to be the design center for the world, and not just for 2-3 specific firms, but as a broad-based industry opportunity. And that's what we believe. It's possible for us to democratize design to the MSMEs of this country, where it's possible for us to be the destination for high quality, sure, also low cost products,
sure,
low cost products, but at high quality. And technology is what will make that possible. And because of what we do today with technology, it doesn't mean that you have to spend tons of money to do this. It's very possible for us to take advantage of technology to produce high quality goods at very competitive prices,
sure,
and become that differentiated design, back office or design center of the world. That's the opportunity that we have as MSMEs.
We started off, this conversation earlier by talking about the Make in India week. And one of the key highlights that the government has been pushing for, of course, is the ease of doing business, promising, a single window clearance, fast tracking projects, etc. Can you tell us about, some of the efforts that are being done as far as ease of doing business in the state is concerned?
As far as the state is concerned, we are very the Government of India DIPP has given us a model to all the states, which is a 345-point set of questions. So on that, we expect to perform well. We are now, the ranking of the states is going to come out soon, and we have made all sorts of efforts. So in that, it covers a wide gamut of areas, from environment to labor to land. There is a wide gamut of area, and there is an emphasis on providing services through e-platforms, through randomization, and removing discretion. So we have also emphasized on those aspects. Apart from that, we have set up a Maitri, which is Maitri is a forum, where we are providing single window services to MSMEs and other projects. There we have officers from 16 different departments, from revenue to weights and measures to power to sales checks, where not only we provide single window services, 44 services, but apart from that, looking at disputes. If there is somebody who is facing a dispute from sales checks regarding his refunds, or there is a dispute with the electricity department regarding his power bill or something. So those sort of facilitation, that sort of facilitation also we are taking up in that forum. And we have linked this working of Maitri with the Right to Services Act of the state of Maharashtra. So there is a time-bound delivery of about 44 services through the Maitri and Aple Sarkar portal of Maharashtra.
Sure. Pradeep, you work closely with MSMEs and SMEs. What advice would you have for our viewers?
I think it's really seize the day. I mean, I think the sector, India, really is at an inflection point. I think there is an opportunity for great firms to come out of India. There's an opportunity for us to create world-class product companies out of India. It's something that India has traditionally been known for services, which has been fantastic. We have great track record there. But I think time is right now with all the things that the government is doing around Make in India. The thing that we talk about, we always keep asking, what does the government do, right? And the government is doing a bunch of things. I think the time is right for us to kind of seize the initiative and say, take advantage of the platform that the government can only do so much. The next step is for us to do. And with the kind of things that we're doing, we're making it possible for all of these things to be frictionless. You know, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to do some of these things that we're talking about. You know, products or design technology. I mean, you can learn these things really quickly. So if you just head over to the Maha Online website, I mean, mahaonline.gov.in, you can see what the government is already doing. I mean, you can sign up for all the things that we talked about at the click of a button, and you can learn these things and start applying these really quickly. So if you are an MSME today, I think the advice that I'd offer is, you know, go out there and seize the opportunity that's in front of you. I think the time is probably never been better to be an MSME in Maharashtra.
Fantastic. I'm sure there's great news for our viewers. I want to pose the same question to you, Mr. Chandra. In terms of the top 2 or 3 things that you would like to advise the viewers of this show, what would it be?
As was mentioned by Pradeep, the lot of investment is coming into the state of Maharashtra, and it is for MSMEs to hold the opportunity by the horn. And this is the time when they can upgrade their technology. We are there to provide them all possible support in terms of land, in terms of the clearances, in terms of funding. So the state, because we also realize the employment potential is going to happen mainly through MSMEs. The focus area of the state has been on automobiles. Now we are focusing in a big way on electronics. We have come out recently with the electronics policy. Then we have come out with the retail policy. We have come out with a special policy for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe entrepreneurs, and there again higher incentives are given for MSMEs from the weaker sections. Now we also want to focus on the defense sector in the near future, the garmenting sector, because again they are big providers of employment. So the incentives from the state government are pretty good for the MSMEs, and they should take advantage of these opportunities which are provided. And because now over the past couple of years we have seen a lot of interest, especially since the Make in India week which happened 6 months back. A lot of foreign companies are showing interest in investing into the state of Maharashtra. So when the foreign companies come, they come to the state of Maharashtra not just for the incentives. Nobody comes here to India or to the state for incentives. They come for the entire ecosystem, of which MSMEs form a very major part, because of the manpower which is available in Maharashtra, because of the technical know-how and technical manpower which is available in the state of Maharashtra, and the workers, and the total environment of law and order and other things which is available in the state of Maharashtra. And along with that, that provides a huge opportunity for MSMEs to grow with the kind of investments which are taking place.
So as we're winding down the show, we have a call-in show here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, and we get a lot of queries from entrepreneurs, MSMEs and SMEs who ask us about how to go about making themselves investment ready. And the second bulk of questions really relates to manpower. My question to you is whether you think it is right and whether you think it's necessary. Just like there's a financial mechanism, you were talking about SIDBI, there is Mudra which is available as well for MSMEs. Do you think a separate regulatory framework for MSMEs is something that's possible and is needed?
Government of India already has a MSME Act,
yeah,
which governs the MSME in terms of their payments and in terms of the registration. Now the registration has been made very simple through Udyog Aadhaar. And facilitation councils, they are also part of that regulatory regime. Apart from that, yes, there is definitely, because today what happens is that all the permissions which are required, whether they are labor, whether they are environment, the regime is more or less the same, except that in terms of number of workers, if the number of workers is less, then you probably fall in a lower regime. But in environment, it is more or less the same. So one can think of some sort of a regime where MSMEs have a different regime for clearances, because even if they may be, the industry may be categorized as a red category industry, but the overall volume from that particular industry would be much lower. So if we can have a separate sort of a regime, then probably it may be simpler for MSMEs.
It's interesting you're talking about, the MSME Act, because a lot of them tell us that they work with large companies, and while they're being forced to pay up their dues on time, what dues they're getting from the large companies get, held up, and therefore their working capital gets impacted. Clearly not a lot of our viewers are aware of what some of their rights are. And why do you think that is?
Under the MSME Act, there is a facilitation council, which is headed by the Director of Industries of the state. Since Maharashtra is a very big state, so we have now created 6 facilitation councils at the divisional headquarters, that is Nagpur, Aurangabad, Amravati, Nasik, etc. And earlier this used to be headed by the additional commissioners of the revenue division. But since the revenue additional commissioner has a lot of other responsibilities, we felt that it is taking much longer for the cases to be decided. So now we have made the Joint Director of Industries in charge of these facilitation councils. And we have also allowed them some legal help so that to facilitate them in writing the judgments and making the system faster.
Sure.
So, and these changes have been done only 2-3 months back. So we are hopeful that this system will work much better for the MSMEs in getting the dues.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming down and speaking with us tonight. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on this episode of MSME Dialogues, Leaders of Tomorrow. Do remember that you can write to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT or call us on the number which is on your screen. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.